Well, this is quite something. The movie stars Jessie Buckley, whom I really like, maybe because she's Irish or maybe because she's a good actress, and Rory Kinnear as basically every other character. There are honestly several characters that are played by the same actor. Like there is Harper, the lead, her husband, Wiley, who's either a friend or her sister. It's not really stated in the movie. A female police officer and a female emergency line operator. Then there are 8 other characters, all played by the same actress, including a young boy with a digital face put on, which is not really a good effect, but okay. The movie can basically divide it in the first 2/3 and the final third, or the final act. I'm not really sure how many acts you can divide this movie in, but let's just say the final act is the last 30% of the movie. The beginning is really beautiful. You have a lot of great landscaping pictures. It's green and vibrant. Mixed in, you have the backstory of the lead character, which is in an orangey kind of color scheme, which makes the tone totally different. It's really beautiful. The contrast is really strong and quite fitting. And then there's starting to come some creepy moments. Like she's walked through the woods and there's a man suddenly following her. And it's really well done. It's really creepy. But then that guy gets arrested and everything is back to being beautiful and calm. Then there's another creepy thing and it switches a bit. And that's actually really great. Like the start of the movie, the setup is really excellent. That is something I can heartily recommend. I was really excited in the beginning of this movie because the setup is that beautiful, that full of atmosphere, and it's really great. Like there's one scene where the lead just stands under a bright green tree and it starts to rain and she's just smiling because it's so beautiful. That's, I don't know why, but that's really got to me. That's really nice. But then the last third of the movie. The problem here is that I didn't really understand what was going on, and that is the problem. When the ending of a movie leaves you completely clueless, that is a big problem. Like there are movies who leave you confused and interested because you sort of got like a tiny idea what's going on and you can speculate. But this is just confusing. I don't really have a different word for it, but it's just, I didn't get it at all what they were trying to tell me. After the movie, I googled it, trying to find an explanation what was going on. And there isn't really any. Like, this is a typical festival movie where the jury celebrates the uniqueness and is all in awe about the beauty. Like, most of the comments I found celebrate the performance of Jessie Buckley and the artistry of the cinematography. And those things are true. This is really great. But there's not much about the movie itself, like the meat and bones, so to speak, of the movie. I've looked for some critics' responses, and this is where it gets really interesting. Some say the actual subject is too simplistic. Some say the movie thinks it's more profound than it seems to be. And some say it just runs down popular talking points so political groups and the media would like it. One said, which was actually quite interesting, I don't know if it's funny or really accurate, it said it's just 90 minutes of man-hating and then an aggressively misogynistic ending. So basically, this movie is done to upset everyone. All in all, it's hard to say if the movie fails to make a point or if the point it's trying to make isn't even there. Of course, I could judge the movie better after reading the responses and the summaries and get an idea what is going on, but I think a movie should stand on its own. Like, if you have to read comments or read a book after the movie to understand it, that the movie kind of fails. So my judgment about the movie is just based on the movie, not the things I've read afterwards. It is an interesting watch, I must grant that. The beginning is quite beautiful, and the ending is really confusing. Like, I'm not sure if I'm actually glad I didn't understand it, because if I would understand it, I think I should talk to someone. But yeah, it's hard to say if you should watch this movie or not. Like, the beginning, as I said, is really beautiful, it's really interesting, it's really well done. So the people who worked on this movie know what they're doing. But the end is extremely bonkers. So if you watched it, then prepare yourself for an ending that doesn't tell you much. But I also can't say you should stay away from the movie, because it is well done. It's not like a few weeks back I had a Bruce Willis movies which was just bad, like everything was bad. This movie had just a really confusing ending, and I think it thinks more of himself that it actually does. But besides that, the acting is amazing, the cinematography is really great, so give it a shot.